Brandon Fraiser apparently came out and said he's down for Mummy 4. Are you down for Mummy 4?
I didn't know there were 3. I know there was 1, and then there was 2 with The Rock in it.
The Returns,
And right?
And then there
Was there a third one?
Yeah, the one with Jet Li.
The Tom Cruise?
No, that's not. He's talking about the original trilogy, where in the third one it's like the Dragon Emperor or something like that. It's Jet Li.
Oh, I have no idea. I had no idea there was a third one.
You don't remember Jet
Also,
Li?
no, I know who Jet Li is, but I don't remember that there was a Mummy 3. I thought there was just 2, and then it was rebooted, and then it was canceled.
It was the worst one out of the 3. So
obviously.
I mean,
but yeah, no, come on. Mummy 3 would be pretty. But starring Jet Li I can 100% guarantee would be awful. Especially if it came out like 15, 20 years ago. If it came out today, it could be kind of fun. But Brandon Fraser, man, have you seen him lately? What he looks like? It would be hard for him to do mummy stuff because he's like an archaeologist, I think, in Mummy, so he's running around a lot. Would he be able to do that now?
It'd be interesting what they would do with it. He had like a pretty bad time. Apparently, he spoke out about being sexually abused in Hollywood and got blacklisted for like 10 years. So he's been slowly on a return in the last 2 or 3 years.
He's awesome in Doom Patrol.
Yeah, that was like one of his returning roles, and he's been great in it. And basically, the entire internet has been behind him. Every time you see him, he's just so lovable and awkward that like you just have to love the guy. And every time people tell him that like the internet loves you, he's always just like, oh shucks. You know, like he always gets so like shy and everything. You're just like, oh, Brandon, you did so many like, dude, I love the first Mummy. Like I remember that's one of those movies. I remember going to the theater as a kid, going to that and coming out being like, holy shit, that was a fucking movie. Right. And like I watched I followed him to Monkey Bone, even Dudley Do-Right. Fucking he did
George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle, I fucking loved as a kid. There's Encino
Journey
Man.
to the Center of the Earth.
Dude, even that was such a like that movie was not supposed to be good, but just because he's in it, and honestly, it was one of the first 3D movies, and they did like this whole stage thing where like it looked like they're just performing on a stage. But yeah, overall, dude, he was like. He was killing it back then, and it's so sad to see that it ended the way it ended. And like, it's amazing to see that he's coming back now. And I honestly think, give him whatever he needs to get back to somewhere where it's like you see Brandon Fraser on a poster, and you're excited about it because he was going to, like there was Batwoman was supposed to come out, and now with HBO being bought. They scrapped it, and no one's ever going to see this movie that's almost finished, and he was going to be Firefly in it, and it was part of the brand reconnaissance of Brandon Fraser coming back, and like it's so sad. Like he was talking about it like recently, making like a joke, but you could tell that he was just like, fuck, no one's ever going to see what the fuck I did in that movie. No one's going to ever. Michael Keaton was supposed to be Batman in that movie. No one's ever going to see Michael Keaton as Batman in a Batgirl movie. That's first absurd. That's one of those things where like it's also one of those things, the way they wrote it off. People are saying there's like a good chance like we'll never see this movie because legally they just can't anymore. So it's like, what the fuck?
Maybe sometime in the future.
Hopefully somebody needs to leak that shit or something. I don't know.
Like someone will buy it at some point.
I think the problem is they like as a write-off they get like save on taxes, and they save like an absurd amount. Like if it works like the producers were like a failure, like you have it insured and you get the money back and stuff like that. There is all sorts of weird things and legal loopholes that they like to use, and if it's entangled in that, it'll be pretty difficult to get it out. There were some other examples of movies where like. Yeah, we still have never seen those just because they were a write-off. But yeah, I think it'd be cool for Mummy 4.